that again through the call if people miss it. But we do have Coach Mike Houston from ECU on the line. The Pirates are 2-2 overall, 0-1 in the American Athletic Conference. ECU was in action this past Saturday against William and Mary, and ECU won the game 19-7. Pirates are back in action Saturday in Norfolk, Virginia. They'll be facing Old Dominion. Game will be a 6 p.m. Eastern Time start and on ESPN+. And then, as we just mentioned, Jake Garrity from ECU is the American Special Teams Player of the Week. Coach, thanks for joining us on the call. If you just get your thoughts on the win against William and Mary, maybe a few words about Jake's performance on special teams and what you expect to see as you hit the road to face Old Dominion on Saturday.
Well, I think number one is great to be back at home, playing in front of a great crowd. We had a very vocal, enthusiastic, energetic stadium to play in Saturday night, and played a very good William and Mary team, and pleased to get the win there, and pleased with the way our team played. And I think we took the kind of the next step in this this deal we're in. So Jake obviously had a big night. We'd rather have touchdowns instead of field goals. We got to get the ball in the end zone a little bit more. But it's reassuring to have a place kicker like him. He was 4 of 5 on the night. The one he missed, I think, was from 55, and he had plenty of leg. Just offline, just a smidge, not much. But he was all conference last year. Very talented young man. Glad he's part of our program. He's doing a great job on and off the field. So we got another test this week. Old Dominion, 1-2 on the year, but you look at their film, and they played Virginia Tech extremely tight. Watching the UVA film, at one point they led 17-0 in that game, and lost a close game there. So that's two ACC schools that they could have won both of those games. So you could be looking at a team 3-0 coming into this game just as easily as 1-2. So very talented roster. They certainly look the part. They're a big, athletic, good-looking football team. A lot of new guys. I think they got a lot of transfers that they brought in this past year, and probably the most I've seen a school bring in. And those guys are on the field playing, and so it'll be a tough test on the road. I'm sure that they'll have a great crowd. They've always had great home attendance there. I'm sure our fans will travel really well also with how close in proximity it is to Eastern North Carolina. So it should be a great night and a great atmosphere there for a college football game.
We'll take questions for Coach Mike Houston, please. Star 1 on your telephone keypad will put you in the queue, and then the operator will introduce you.
We'll now take our first question from Dan Tortora of wakeupcalldt.com. Please go ahead. Your line is open.
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for asking. You were just speaking on, obviously, special teams and Jake Garrity, what he was able to do. I mean, he broke a 7-7 tie with 4 straight field goals. Just what you could say about the importance of special teams, obviously not only in this game, but overall, as I feel like they typically don't get enough publicity anywhere near maybe what they deserve.
Right. Well, it's been something that, every program that I've been fortunate enough to be the head coach of, we've put a huge importance on it. And I feel like it's really been, a major factor towards all the success we've had over the years. And we're trying to establish the same thing here. Certainly Jake gets a lot of attention for his performance this past Saturday night, which he should. It's well deserved. I've got a lot of confidence in him because I watch him. The fans see him on Saturday night, which those are the ones that count. But I watch him all throughout the week, every week, and he's done some great things in practice that gives us and him that confidence on game night. With the rest of our units, I think that we're doing some good things. We've got some things we got to really work on. I think that right now we just don't have quite the consistency that we want on special teams just yet. But it's certainly something we're working very hard at, and I think that our fan base can probably see maybe a little bit of a different philosophy than what there's been here in the past, because we're trying very much to be aggressive in those units. So anyway, I think it's it'll probably be a big defining part of this game this Saturday night. It always is. And, you get a game like this where you got two teams matched up, both of us, fighting very hard to win. Field position and explosive plays and special teams, could be the deciding factor.
And, in this game, after allowing a touchdown with 9:36 left before halftime, defense didn't allow another score, field goal, or touchdown. Just what you can say about where the defense is a few games into the season, in your opinion?
Well, I think we're improving. We had a pretty rough weekend a couple of weeks ago, so I think for the players to respond the way they did last week is encouraging. It's still one of those things where it's with first year in the system, it's still a lot of teaching. It's still a lot of retention. You're still with wrinkles and things like that. Working through a lot of stuff, but certainly I'm pleased with the way we played, particularly in the second half Saturday night in the win over William & Mary.
Well, thank you, Coach, and good luck moving forward.
Thanks a lot.
Our next question comes from Ronnie Woodward of the Greenville Daily Reflector. Please go ahead. Your line is open.
All right. Hey, Coach, I forgot to ask this on Saturday, but William & Mary came in with such a good turnover margin, and you didn't turn the ball over at all and won the turnover battle on Saturday. Was that a key aspect of that game that maybe got overlooked a little bit?
No doubt. I think that that was certainly a big emphasis for us last week. And I thought, we pointed out, yesterday in our team meeting just what a huge play in the first half. We had, a little bit of an errant throw there by Holton that looked like it was going to be an interception, could have possibly been a pick six. And DeAndre Ferrier did such a great job of becoming the defender in that situation and, disrupting the play. And that could have been one of the bigger plays in the ball game. But I thought the urgency with which, Deontay Smith was able to recover a loose ball. Those were the only two really balls in jeopardy we had all night, but our guys did a good job of being headsy and protecting the ball in those two situations. And I thought our ball carriers did a real good job of protecting the ball in the run game. So I think that was a big factor, for us, just doing a better job with ball security. We were able to create a turnover with the interception that Tank had. We'd have liked to have had another one, and we had a chance at another pick at a different point in the ball game. But, that is a big emphasis that we're trying to do a better job with week in, week out.
Okay. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
We'll now take our next question from Tom Shanahan of News and Observer Raleigh. Please go ahead. Your line is open.
Hi, Coach. Each week we learn, when we have a new coach, we learn something new about him. And I thought it was interesting. You had the ball down on the goal line there, but you let time expire rather than punch it in for another touchdown to make the score look bigger. Just what are your thoughts on that, in those type of situations as a coach?
Well, what's the purpose? What's the purpose of sticking another one in there at the end when we could kill the clock? And that's what I look at is there a need? Now, if there had been more time on the clock, certainly we would have punched it in. But with the situation we were in, we could easily kneel on the ball. Certainly, William & Mary, I thought they played just really, really well. I think that they're much improved over last year. We played them last year at James Madison, and there's no point in doing that at that situation, that juncture in the ball game.
And have you been on the other side of that? Was that part of your learning process, or what?
I have been. I've been on the other side when somebody did the same thing I did. I've been on the other side when somebody chose to stick it in. So I just know how I felt. So.
Great. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
We'll now take our next question from Patrick Johnson of 94.3 The Game. Please go ahead. Your line is open.
Hey, Coach, a couple of the things I was going to ask you have already been asked of you, but you elaborated on Trace Christian and Tay Williams a little bit, or quite a bit, on Saturday. After seeing their play and reviewing the film, could you perhaps elaborate on their performances respectively a little bit more?
Well, I think that they did a good job of taking advantage of their opportunity. I think that's the obvious thing that we all saw. Were they perfect? No. But they haven't had as much, as much work in practice as the other backs have either. They've been guys, like I talked about Saturday night, that started at the beginning of the fall on the scout team and have worked their way, to getting more reps with the travel team during practice, and really came on last week during the week. I think it's something that should be motivating to our roster. We talked about it at our team meeting yesterday. Is those two got their opportunities Saturday night because of a combination of things. Certainly Darius not being available to us last Saturday night left an opportunity there. But then their play and practice during the week is what gave the coaching staff confidence, the other players confidence, and those two players individually confidence that they could go out there and they could help us. And then once they get their chance, coming through gives you even more confidence. So I think it should be a motivating factor. We've pointed out to them some things that they need to do better. And to a degree, it all starts over this week in the situation we're in. How they practice during the week this week will dictate how much playing time they get on Saturday night. But I think anytime you've got competition, especially with a young and growing program like we are, competition is going to bring out the best in everyone. So I think it's all a good thing.
Coach, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
And we take one more for Coach Houston, please.
We'll take our last question from Stephen Igwe of 24/7 Sports. Please go ahead. Your line is open.
Hey, Coach. We got to know David Blackwell pretty good last year, obviously. Just curious what you remember during that transition. I know you wanted to get your staff in, but did you have any interaction with Coach Blackwell when you got the job?
I did. David's a veteran coaching guy. He's been through a lot, and certainly very experienced. And I've known of him since his time at the FCS ranks. And then, I thought he did a solid job when he got in here in a tough situation. Certainly, him being an alum, he cares very much for this program. And during the transition, he and I had some conversations where he gave me a lot of insight into just a lot of the way things had been here, and a little bit on the personnel. And so Saturday night he's going to try to whip our rear ends because he's a competitor. But I do know that he's someone that does care about this program here probably every other Saturday night, and he's someone that I have a lot of respect for not only the jobs he's done at different places he's been, but also for just the way he does his business.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
Coach, thanks so much for your time this morning. We look forward to hearing from you once again next Monday.